Hello Gophers, today we are going to see how to enable a debugger to troubleshoot your unit tests. We are not going to discuss what a debugger is. I assume you are already familiar with it. We will just learn how to configure it, and in the end, I'll share a useful tip which can be used while debugging your unit tests. So let's get started. These are the prerequisites which must be met before starting the video. Golang should be installed on your machine with Go tools, and VS Code should be installed with the Golang plugin, right? I'll provide a link in the description which will help you in the installation process. So, moving forward, let's talk about the project that you're dealing with. I have this HTTP service with two endpoints. That is that performs mathematical operation. One is add and one is subtract, right? If you actually see these endpoints in the end calls this add and sub functions for which I have written unit tests. My unit tests are located in math_test.go. As you can see, there is a unit test for add function and there is a unit test for sub function, and I have added some test cases. If you closely observe it, the test case addition 2 is actually wrong, where 10 plus 10 does not yield to 100. But we will try to do a scenario where we need to debug this test case, right? So let's start. So here is how you can enable your debugger in your unit test. So you just go to the function which where you want to enable debugging, right? Just add a breakpoint over here, right, or anywhere in your function, right? Now go to your unit test function, and over here you will see this run test or debug test. So you just click on the debug test button, and here it is. The VS Code has started iterating over your test cases, and this is the first test case. As you can see, num1 and num2 are 1, and we can just verify it. This is my first case where num1 and num2 are 1, right? So this is the usual debugging operation. We can do step in, step over, etc., etc. So I'll just step over. Or do this. Now this is the second test case. How do I know this num1 and num2 are 10, right? Now I can do the same over normal debugging operations, right? This is cool, right? So this is how you can get your debugging started very quickly, right? But the problem with this approach is that I'll just shut down my debugger first. The problem with this approach is that I have to iterate over all my test cases to actually see the failing test case, right? But when you run, but when you usually run your Go program or Go test using Go test command, right, you will be aware of what test case is failing. So in this case, I use this trick at the end, right? So I'll just copy this code block, right? And I'll remove this debugger from my function. I'll go to my unit test function. I'll just paste this code block. So what it does actually, instead of iterating over all the test cases to for your breakpoint, I'll just add a breakpoint over here. So whenever your test is being executed with your second test case, that is addition 2 for me, debugging will be activated only for that. So let's see it in action. I'll just press debug test again. Now as you can see, debugger has been activated and it has selected this line of code. I'll just do step in. I'll do step over here. I'll do step in. Now if you see, I directly got num1 and num10 as this is my second test case. So this is how you can improve your debugging with unit tests. So this just saves a lot of time, right? So this is it in this video. Please write in comments what you want to see in the next video with regards to Golang.